Well, hello, fellow film fans, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Tyler's Real Movie Reviews. And guys, in light of Infinity War coming out in just over a month, April 27th, I figured I'd do a video ranking my top 5 MCU films to date. And with that out of the way, guys, let's get right into it with my number 5 MCU film, Thor Ragnarok, directed by Taika Waititi. Guys, I loved this film. Chris Hemsworth as Thor carries this film through and through, and his comedic element that he adds is fantastic, and Taika Waititi's vision is fantastic. Look, I liked Thor 1. Thor 2 I was a little mixed on. I liked some things, didn't like other things, but this movie I really feel they did a fantastic job reinventing the character of Thor and really his movies overall, and making it into a comedy was fantastic. I wasn't sure they could do a comedy superhero movie, but Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth certainly hit it out of the park with this film. And with that out of the way, guys, we got to go to my number 4, which is Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler. Look, Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan carry this movie. I loved Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa. I think his performance is underrated. And Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger, in my opinion, is the best MCU villain to date. You could argue Loki, but in my opinion, Loki's had a few more movies to do what he's done, and Killmonger, just one movie, to me was very powerful. And the reason why he was so powerful is because when you really look into it, he was right. His point was right. So I really love that Ryan Coogler did that with this movie. And really the pacing of this film, I love the pacing of this film. I really never got bored. Some films hit a wall, and it usually happens more often than not that a film will hit a wall for a little bit. This movie did not at all, in my opinion. I loved this movie. It was so entertaining, and Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan are a huge part of that. With number 4 out of the way, guys, we got to go to my number 3, which is Captain America Winter Soldier. Look, the action in this movie is fantastic and is followed up by more drama and intrigue. It's directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, the Russo brothers, who are also directing Infinity War, by the way, in case you guys didn't know that. But this movie is fantastic. It is a political thriller with a superhero in it, which is just, man, what an idea. And I didn't know it could work, but the Russo bros made it work in such a great way. And I loved it. And I battled between having Black Panther or Winter Soldier at my number 3, but I chose Winter Soldier simply because the risks Marvel took in this film, if they didn't pay off the way they did in this film, I'm not sure they would have had the chance to make the risks with Black Panther that they did. So that's why I would have to put Winter Soldier above Black Panther. And with number 3 out of the way, guys, we gotta go to my number 2, which is The Avengers, directed by Joss Whedon. Man, this movie felt like an actual comic book come to life. It was every comic book nerd's dream to see this in the big screen, and it was fantastic. I love this movie. I love how Josh really, he gave everybody their time to shine. They all have their moment in this movie, and it was really just a popcorn eating movie, and I ate this movie up. And guys, my number 1 Marvel Cinematic Universe film is Captain America Civil War, directed by the Russo bros, again, Joe and Anthony Russo. Man, I love the seriousness mixed with the comedic tone of this film. I thought they mixed it very well. And if you followed the Avengers up to this point, this film was very serious, and you felt the seriousness when Tony and Cap really argue their sides. And one thing that really hit home for me was you get to see both of their points, and as a viewer, you understand where they're coming from. It's almost like, you know, no one's really wrong in this situation, and I found myself in the theater going back and forth between both sides. And guys, let's just be honest, this movie has the best action of any of the MCU movies to date. The action in this movie is absolutely incredible, especially that airport sequence. My goodness, that gave me the nerd tingles, I gotta say. And guys, also the Russo brothers, one thing they did in this movie is they introduced two new characters into the fold, being Black Panther and Spider-Man, and they did it perfectly. Look, I didn't know I wanted a Black Panther film before seeing this, but after seeing this, I needed a Black Panther film, and that's all because of how they introduced him in this movie. I loved it. And also, guys, Spider-Man, which I think is the most comic book accurate Spider-Man we've seen to date. I loved how they introduced him, and it was just fantastic to finally see what I felt was the comic book Spider-Man come to the big screen. And they really made it like comedic in a way, because Tony and Cap are in a very serious adult, disagreement, and then you throw in a teenager and how, that would be. They really play that comedic part fantastically, and I love this movie. That's why it takes my number one. So guys, I'm interested to see what are your top 5 MCU films. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with me and why or why not. Also guys, if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you like my content, you should definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell, which will notify you every time I have something new coming out. And with all that out of the way, guys, thank you for watching.